the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Alright, for Mamin Chow, a more quabim, and family Casafoni so a Nsem-Pii TV. Yatna say na nsema ekoso manganemu eno ene de beso se kasebo na enra ene beto dwa se CEO edema Cocoa Dr. Randy Abbey na osi Nsem-Abronye for 25 million Ghana cedis, 250 billion for defamation na abusuafo nsa nsemu ye ebeto edwa no eno ene Nsem-Abronye will lose control like never before. Obuzafo, nibe bo voice ne dia mam na so TV. Adenti na Dr. Randy Abbey receive Nsem-Abronye. Na Nsem-Abronye so the response about what you say. Unsuru Dr. Randy Abbey ene unsuru defamation bia ene ibitra omunyina bi hyem e wokoto. Na Abronye echiremu a Dr. Randy Abbey se oko nkrase akobibi akoko farm no ewo ne farmers no akudi enkomo a ofa a whole chair office chair a wato ne mono edisi Land Cruiser ba akopem a obi antim de cocoa board sika eto fuel na ne personal aid na assistance enso so atena a full Land Cruiser mu moto hwi e de ko hunu nyansa amfesika esombo amfa nka kokofo ho nemum hunu nyansa de saa sika we akunwa no asi V8 mu eno na Nsem-Abronye kyerese ono de opa onfa no kokot edu obebo hosia ene na atwemanso fi se ni nsem a woka bia no obo evidence na busuafo se de Nsem-Abronye ositie no wonim so de sitie na ne bua safu aka ho nsem na no hye na mesrese obemi akọ na yakuti nsem ne de ekọ supporting 25 million Ghana cedis no obenya atua na asa untua wadwenkyere enso so ho hia yenkoi na Nsem-Abronye yengutie no
another director kokwa akuafo mo nsori o na Randy Abbey bumu afaso kokwa akuafo mo nsori o Randy Abbey bomo kro no Randy Abbey na ye cocoa board chief executive no or cocoa farmers no ha or swa konwa free ni office Accra na Land Cruiser a separate Land Cruiser aswa konwa no a Land Cruiser o aswa Land Cruiser nko afa Randy Abbey akonwa na ko Ghana cocoa board atopatro agu Land Cruiser na ekita CEO na konwa no na CEO no so Land Cruiser baako ne personal aid force Land Cruiser baako na konwa so afa Land Cruiser baako na kokwa akuafo na yafo omusika die no ye do omusika atopatro agusa Land Cruisers we nyina mu na ode akokoko farm ho nti odura ne yayi na konwa abesi no watenase because kokwa akuafo na wo na di kokko ba ma ye de twia ne ka ne sisi na atia na ye de twia ne ka no wo ma konwa no so time nti on tena so. That is Randy Abbey for you. And nay sika ye de ma kokwa akuafo ye atemdidie kokko bag yeseseke ye tono 4,500 no ya ma kokko kwani 128 Ghana cedis 1,400 Ghana government of Ghana around Ghana cocoa board around ya bidano no wo ma fasa sika no ye din free nti ne directors ye o ma yi adwuma over the years 15 years and ne Randy Abbey baya o se sa nkrofo na opunu penso ye omo directors ni nyina no omo nkotena fie ye de kokko sika betua omo ka ntie ne ye o na mom owo NDC fo bia odo omo ba omo nso meye directors no ena Randy akofa na ba se wo de efi se wo ye NDC ni ntie no betima bokro no because omo wo hanom no menyiwo mu ni nti sika se me wia no mentimi nwia nti ma memfa another director of finance mra na mene ni nwia sika de nti Randy Abbey asesa director of finance emana kotena fie eye say opani oni ni be wia sika nti wakwa kofa ono ani honipa edena ba aba ye ne director of finance nti ono ne ne betuma wia cocoa board sika no at the detriment of the poor cocoa farmer. Randy Abbey baye no o se wontimi mmoa me ma me nwia cocoa board sika enti kofie na me nkope obi a obetima boa me ma ya wia cocoa board ye betima wia Ghana cocoa akuafo enti wafa nipa foforo ana wa ma wakofie no akwatia na awogye no eno a na ye de bema wo ye misa se ye hemfafo sika koku akuafo na mama mo buo papa no sika sese ka mo de mo ne mo ti ye na akoro no sika mo fa ye no enu bi na mo de high new directors menkwati a yese kanjara bi so asore se Abronye akana sem wo show ha etino sa kanjara na so akofale se 25 million ono asi ni made e friend defamation of character nka kenofurata na do court first kana nado danko akofo ado na de wo sa nipa court first menkwati a yese ono so akokort say na ohia TV ne dia ehite mo pa o na we dia ya free show na siri say ono so no mema adifemu no enti court enhyem na mempepa no dam ono dia teche ebe ye no ho sa brantie we na odaso no man kan kire no say ono no character no oni bi na obi adifemu mo hwa na mo kan kire no say me say character no oni bi na obi adifemu na fena ne nse no me de ha ma ebebo ase de no na abu agum na me no upo obi di court ahunahuna na nyame o ya wo meto court danum upo obi di court ahunahuna na ya ba kopa na nya cases dodo a mo ba faale no ana be mo nya TV aja kasa o hey ya be ka kopensa mo beti ato se wom oya enya ya baba be ka oya na ya baba be bo abaso enti wo sa brantie na no akofale case na me do mfo nyina beto so no ye beti akoto afi na sin no asie de na aka no me de hama ebe bom abu agum se train kwato o minsuro na da ye mobose antwa manso hey defamation nya no mode me akokoto akwa biri crime reso biri crime reso starting from 2013 upon this mode me akokoto akwa scan magia ye de ma ye bipa enkosi hu because assembly ameka bia will make sure say me prove it is a live phone ni sa meeting bi na mo sia se o yem bombarding with court actions left and right ebeduru ba bi na obeye mere ontimi nkan yasem wo di agro mo de court asem ne kura ba ejinja me ma menya hode mo wuyi usa blante ya oda so yi wuyi wo so de obi akokot se wo character na character no will be
koso and see he's going to focus on that and no it takes time for it to materialize and until I buy after buy will be about no journey free home because we say oh yeah sa formalization of the economy na ye hu enye school dan enye car kwan nti unya basebody no be hands about to do but the nyina be dia dance ye say bepem ne in the last 8 years Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia efforts any impact awenya in formalizing our economy no unprecedented. It is not for himself. It is not for the New Patriotic Party. It is for the country Ghana. I was listening to Logas. Yes. Fantastic guy. He's doing a good job. I mean, any young person that is doing the sort of things that he's doing, there are things that we need to encourage him. And if you listen to him, you realize that DVLA is riding on that formalization now across over the period. And not just DVLA. When you go to GRE, when you go to, a friend is saying, Registrar General, banks now everybody is riding on that foundation. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia any team no a driver and then the number of young people are pursue e-commerce, Snapchat CEOs, Instagram CEOs, Facebook CEOs, TikTok CEOs, Obi Bebre. Where is it coming from? It's stemming from formalization of the economy, which brings confidence into the economy and also allows for other architecture to build upon that. Interoperability, I can say me. I heard say Ndra was an answer chairman of Usapofo. Say in Africa was saying Ghana and the highest penetration when it comes to mobile money interoperability. And this is something that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia championed and executed. You remember saying now some people doubted, say, how can it be South Africa high in some of the pioneers? But we are. Usapofo confirmed it. I'll look for exactly what he said. And mobile money interoperability is one of the biggest enablers of e-commerce. Our young people need to take advantage and look at all the things that have gone on in the space. So I just say synchronizing our data. And he focused on that, and without doubt, everybody will agree say he delivered on those things. That's notwithstanding, no, the government faced challenges. Major economic challenges, and until 2024 80% to 90% of incumbent governments and the parties across the world lost the elections because it was a very difficult year. In fact, between 2022 and 2024 the global economy saw a lot of challenges, and until the IMF boss and the guy say it's going to take us another 15 to 20 years before we can come back and stabilize as a global economy. He has immense experience when it comes to that. It is the reason why everybody mentions Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, even though he was a vice president. And to date, people talk about him as if he has ever had the chance to lead this country. Ebin see that the formidability nature of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, no, the biggest beneficiary is the AMPP. Opa be a phone line, I mean this in India from because they know say he remains the biggest threat to the party. Obi ye kenyina no so no MPP ye nyina across the country. Ade ba ko pe na dey nyina so we want to win the elections. After all is said and done, no, you be say winning 2028 elections. You 1,200 days. Nipa running nyina omumuhwan and within the next 1,200 days, no, obetumi aboabo no one making sure say obejia na so no to be winning elections for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And it's backed by data. Backed by data. Okay? Politics is science. Me, I did political science. In fact, we used to have a debate in Poly 101 whether politics is an art or science. Politics is science, and politics is sociology. And data is crucial in politics. The political history and the political trend, clear. Say elections are from 1996. The Ghanaian political sociological environment, they take their time, and the Ghanaian voter runs a lot of comparative analysis. And the way a Ghanaian voter they run in a comparative analysis and say yet you was near train was so. Now they no you tell me no previously no your man no so no so me na nhwe or ya na ka yen say now they okay ya say that yen say yen kokoti we no ka President Kufuor 1996 against President Rawlings the first time, no, President Rawlings won because President Rawlings was going for his second time. President Kufuor a friend is saying second time in the year 2000, no. Yes. NDC the Professor Mills for the first time. The Ghanaian people said no, we have heard President Kufuor, we've heard the things he said in the past. The NDC were not happy with what you did between 1996 and 2000. Let's allow Kufuor to also do his and see. Then President Kufuor came again in 2004. Yes, a friend is saying so far so good. It was only become you remember so far so good. And about 2008, no, and another done Kufuor buy very fantastic ideas. Kufuor started talking about free SHS in 2008. You know that free SHS was our flagship message in 2008. Then President Mills came. When you are gonna for kind, almost say no. Papa, what can I say much chance? I was starting from the year 2000. Train Kufuor the train with you know. Yeah, sure the honor so bit by then obey. Because they've been hearing President Mills speak on his vision for all this while. Then Kufuor lost 2008. In the Kufuor bad 2012, President Mills said, "You man now, you know, 1 year in we and I say Otoye and President Mahama then Ababe acting. Yaman and twice on President Mills said, "You man then in we." Or ye be in a 2016. Oh, now cry the more answer at the end of Bono Masa. Kufuor Casa Yache, Yamon so many day, Yenshe. And the Kufuor so be any day 2020. President Mills already on Mampeni da crowd about 20 almost Debbie. A Kufuor the Jubano starting on a day. We Yaman to us, we a pet. No, say, we no need no we Yaman me fan to us on no. This is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's time. For us in the MPP, the electoral history, any electoral record, clear say NDC4 are coming into 2008 elections as an incumbent.
Yes.
And that is a huge advantage. The second thing, they say they could have come into these elections as an incumbent with the sitting president. And the record shows say all incumbents with sitting president have higher chances of winning the next election, especially against a first time your friend is saying contender. Now, the biggest chance they call elections against NDC, and they say NDC are coming with a new candidate. Once your mama, His Excellency, and Zaka say, even though any choice, but that's the friend is saying
statement.
This issue, presents MPP with the biggest advantage, at least to level up, have one also against the NDC. So the NDC already has incumbency advantage over us. If they were coming with an incumbent candidate, it would be a double advantage. But here we are, they are coming with a new candidate. We now have to take a stance as MPP. And the CSA is taking time to say, what do we want to do? At this point, the NDC for the new candidate, but what does the electoral record of Ghana says? It says that anytime you bring a new candidate, the likelihood say NDC for new candidates will be winning the next elections near low. Because you know why? Because we be candidate in somewhere 2027. I feel no beton, home beton vision. Ghanaian voter no takes time to assimilate. Obed no was seminal, after was seminal, it take time. Until by the time I will be about to be now, ready now. Yes, you can see you completely new candidate. Let's say you have 2 year advantage in a actually. And I na for the NDC naba by because NDC the new candidate naba. And yes, so and you bet to me take advantage, Yes, you are offer new candidate, but NDC still have their incumbency advantage, so they have one over us, and that is where Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes in. Or coalitions maybe when to me and Winnie, but close to 42% of the voters in the Ghana naturally say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ni swadi hu o ma man ye wogide wom. It means that you were 9% be as Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia said that Tony Boas no eden or church omunyame mu no munyanti ase no meto abama no. Obi, it doesn't make political strategic sense to drop Obia what testing the pain. What the now market and what testing no.
When we hold that to be true, then 2028 is already lost for the NPP, because then the NDC will go into that election with 57% vote and another. So it is on that still on steady the sociology and political environment of Ghana, because listen to what I said carefully. I have been giving you an analysis of candidates, not parties.
Yes, Mahama votes in NDC votes. Remember that the NDC comes with their vote, and then the candidates and also candidates in so is bringing something onto the table. You understand what I'm saying? And see, 56 point something here, Mahama vote. Mahama na ye contestant. If you don't believe in what I am telling you there, they will not need you. It means that anybody at all will present as the party's candidate should win, because or the party no vote never. But you know that is not correct. Otherwise, we'll not be running what we are running. There is a reason why you are saying I can win. Why? Because you think that you bring something to the table. Why are you now going to pick? Is Mahama going to run the elections in 2028? No. So Mahama's 56% is gone with him. The NDC are bringing a candidate who is also now coming to test whether the Ghanaian voters will accept them or not. So Bawumia's 41.7, and I said 42, almost 42%, 7%. And tested. That is Bawumia's strength. That is Bawumia's strength. We have not tested your strength. And the new NDC candidate, doesn't have Mahama's vote. And also be tested on also the strength. Now, look at this. You can actually do 80%. You could do 90%, but you could also do 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%. So, hope, assumptions, guess, belief. That is where the risk is.
How about the party member who has been sold the narrative? Say wonam kroma udebusa, ordinary taxi driver, ordinary mechanic, ordinary hawker. Say why na say MPP for the ne bar Ghana for betwaba amano. One of the aspirants message out there how would the Bawumia camp counter a message like that?
Yen testino through the primaries into the eco contest. Remember that MPP has 40,000 polling station executives in every corner.
Yes.
There is no better way to measure the sentiments of people than using the polling station and branch level. Because branch level, they know your polling station is the lowest level in our political structure. Me over latter number of polling stations, a small group. Now, say the easy amount I say average of 500 voters per area. So no problem. That will be tested during the primaries. So your primaries in that's a primaries and say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that your argument is moot. You understand what I'm saying? Because the primaries represent 40,000 polling stations.
Yeah, but those are MPP for. The argument they say
also say
almost outside the NPP for. Ghana for us will be.
No, but that has been tested already. When we went out there to test, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's strength has been identified. There is no assumption on that anymore. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's strength has been identified to be 41.7%. Yours haven't been tested. What do you test you? And I will say, oh, but me tietie microphone no. Wo na wo kan. Me tietie microphone no mo say me. Ba ye be de hu.
Okay.
Until you are telling us, okay, Bawumia there 41%, 41.7% na ye nimu no. Yan tontwe na ye hope said ya wo ka kire yen say odo waso te ye no. E ye no. And I make us say no. There is a risk in there. Remember, say Bawumia there also there is a risk. There is a risk in every election. However, you are better off taking a hazard with obi or no akobi. Ama ye hu ni obetumi enya. A ye hu saka na 9% than their uncle be the crowd or the num ojo no num achrew. Because obi ye be to me we need obi account. What will be your election or something to me we need that.